Revisiting Blood Omen 2 on the PS5 is like stepping into a forgotten, shadowy dream, one drenched in gothic atmosphere, thick with brooding monologues and cackling with the raw, brutal energy of early 2000s action games. It may be the black sheep of the Legacy of Kain series, but it still has an undeniable charm. And speaking of charm, please help us out by liking the video.
Your ability to survive will depend upon your ability to fight.
The game picks up centuries after the events of Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Kain, once posed to rule Nosgoth, is now a fallen lord, defeated by the mysterious Seraphim Lord and left for dead. He awakens in a world that has changed in his absence. His vampiric brethren have been hunted down to near extinction, and the Seraphim Order rules Nosgoth with an iron fist. Stripped of much of his power, Kain must reclaim his strength, unravel the secrets behind his defeat, and exact vengeance upon the Seraphim Lord. It's a classic tale of power and betrayal, steeped in the grandiose, theatrical writing that defines the Legacy of Kain series. It's almost Shakespearean. The dialogue is delightfully over the top, with Kain's voice dripping with disdain as he growls his way through interactions. The lore is dense and convoluted, something the series has always prided itself on, but there's an undeniable appeal to peeling back its layers.
Our curse develops differently in each of us, giving us unique powers.
At its core, Blood Omen 2 is a combat-focused action game, trading Soul Reaver's puzzle-heavy design for a more visceral hands-on approach. It may seem simplistic by today's standards, but in 2002, its blend of counter-based melee combat and environmental interaction felt quite fresh. And unlike many hack-and-slash games of the era, Blood Omen 2 emphasizes defensive play. Parries are essential, timing them correctly allows Kain to deflect attacks and immediately counter with devastating strikes. While Kain starts with just his claws, he can pick up weapons like swords, axes, and clubs from fallen enemies. Each has a distinct weight and attack speed, making combat feel dynamic. Kain can execute finishing moves on weakened enemies, often ending fights in a dramatic, bloody spectacle. A standout feature is the ability to use the environment to dispatch enemies, throwing them off ledges, impaling them on spikes, or crushing them with traps, not pictured here. As Kain grows stronger, he unlocks vampiric abilities that enhance both combat and traversal. Mist form lets him slip through grates, Fury enables lightning-fast strikes, and Charm allows him to manipulate weak-minded enemies. The combat may not have the complexity of modern action games, but it's deeply satisfying thanks to the sheer weight behind each attack and Kain's predatory movements. Nosgoth is a city of darkness, twisting alleyways, towering Gothic cathedrals, and crumbling ruins. These tell a story of a world that has lost its way. While level design is fairly linear, the city does feel alive, with pockets of resistance fighting against the Seraphim's rule, and civilians cowering in fear of both their oppressors and Kain himself. The art direction is wonderfully oppressive, full of mist-drenched streets and ominous architecture, even if the graphical fidelity has aged. Emulating the game on PS5 helps sharpen textures and smooth out performance, making it a solid way to revisit this grim world.
It is time that you meet our leader.
It was time indeed to hear this so-called leader's plans.
Blood Omen 2 is often overlooked in favor of Soul Reaver, but there's something undeniably fun about its blend of gothic storytelling and visceral combat. It's rough around the edges, sure, its platforming is stiff, enemy AI can be a bit dim-witted, and it lacks the grand philosophical depth of Soul Reaver 2, but if you embrace it for what it is, it delivers a satisfying vampire power fantasy. For fans of the Legacy of Kain series, or anyone nostalgic for the early 2000s action games, Blood Omen 2 is still worth a visit. It may not be the crown jewel of Nosgoth, but it remains an engaging chapter in Kain's dark saga. Thank you for watching, help us out with a like and subscribe if you'd like more of this, and do tell us in the comments which game from the PS2 era has stuck with you the most.
Verminous blood-sucking fiend!
Do you want your death now? Come, and you shall have it.
Come back!
I was alone last.